Unabating insecurity scourge in the country and the need to find a bailout plan for the people of Nigeria, the All Progressive Congress seemed to be chanting the redemption song with the APC Salvation Rally held recently at the Eagle Square in the nation's capital, Abuja. Let's have this report on the APC Salvation Rally.
Moving like a retired general.
They called it a Salvation Rally to mobilize Nigerians to vote against the People's Democratic Party in the 2015 general election. According to officials of the All Progressive Congress, this rally is the first in a series of rallies to be held in different locations across the country. At the rally, the APC expressed concern over the security situation in the country, especially in the northeast.
The court had said that he should give back the speaker his police and his SSS, and the president has disobeyed. Today, the president must tell us why our brothers and sisters are dying in Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa, and they are here enjoying in Abuja.
The party asked Nigerians who want change at the 2015 general election to ensure that they obtain the permanent voters card.
If you want to have a secure and efficient in Nigeria, you just have to do that. No alternative. Make sure you get your permanent voters card. Make sure you have gone and voted for those you want to represent you and lead you. And make sure your votes count.
Insist on your rights. The ability to vote is your right. Insist on your PVC. Go out to make the sacrifice.
The APC is calling on Nigerians to make it mandatory on the ruling party that the general elections of 2015 must be free and fair.
The APC is insisting on remaining at the Eagle Square in Abuja until the government takes action to end the insecurity in the country.
The trading of blames between the two parties, the PDP and the APC, seem a never-ending rivalry, now incensed with the federal government's proposal to extend the state of emergency in Adamawa, Yobe and Borno states, which happens to be an APC stronghold in terms of its political disposition and composition. The APC has condemned the proposed extension of emergency rule, saying it's a PDP gimmick to disenfranchise the zone from 2015 election. The APC also accused the federal government of deliberately allowing insurgency in this zone to further decimate and depopulate the areas. We met with the APC National Vice Chairman, Alhaji Abdulkadir. He accuses the Nigerian military of sabotage, while also calling for an international panel of inquiry on insurgency in Nigeria. Take a listen.
You don't need an emergency rule for military to perform their duties in terms of trying to contain internal security challenges. This should be something that on a daily basis as it happens, the military can react. Of course, the involvement of the military requires some sanction by the National Assembly, which they do, even in riotous situations. But what we are saying is that what is the essence of the rule, emergency rule?
Are you sure this isn't a panic of disenfranchisement from the APC? Because some analysts have said that the APC feels that enshrining and enforcing the state of emergency in the Northeast, particularly at a time when 2015 elections is on the way in an area where it's an APC stronghold, that might be a political disadvantage for the APC. So how do you see this line of thoughts?
Don't forget, this is not just an APC affair. Only APC is just articulating an aggregate opinion of Nigerians, particularly people from the northeastern part of the country, where this state of emergency was declared. You see, apart from this enfranchising, the large proportion of voters in northeast, which constitutes a greater percentage, a very big percentage of voters in Nigeria. Apart from that, essentially, security is very paramount for every Nigerian.
Are you saying now that the APC is reacting from a political lens?
Not only that, well, there's an obligation for Nigerians to, for the party to pinpoint, make suggestions, make observations, and make criticisms of those situations where government failed to do or discharge its responsibilities.
This issue of extension of emergency rule is being debated by the House, and also, as a matter of fact, the Senator summoned the service chief. But now, let's look at the politics in this issue now, which is largely a game of numbers. Now, the APC seems to be favorably disposed to the non-extension of the rule in the Northeast. And now in a House that the APC seems to have an influence, additional influence in the person of the Speaker, and even its numbers. It depends on how you see it. It's just like 6.5 dozen now. Whichever way you look at it, you might want to say that APC still has a head start in the House. So how do you see deliberating on such issue in these political times? How do you see the issue playing out?
I think it's a very clear issue. All the questions we were asking, what has government done in the last 18 months when the ceremony was declared? Was there any achievement? Was there any achievement recorded in terms of reducing the insurgency or bringing the insurgents to its knee? Is there any genuine commitment in fighting the insurgents? You can see clearly the amount of money spent does not reflect whatever is recorded.
Now, Alhaji Abdulkadir, looking at this issue now, the emergency rule. Now, would you buy the adoption of this emergency rule from the point of view of doctrine of necessity in the absence of a credible alternative?
The alternative, we have two options. The option is for the federal government to be clear, sincere, and committed to fighting the insurgents and insurgency and bring about peace, not only in the northeastern states, but in the whole country. Because now we have reached a stage you don't know when and where a bomb will explode. That's very important. Secondly, the involvement of international community. I think it's not bad if we are not capable to admit that we are not capable. We have done it for other people. The Chadians, for instance, in the early 70s and early 80s, were involved in bringing about restoring peace in the Chad crisis. It is our own military. So also in other African nations.
Now, the APC has also called on the federal government to desist from the ceasefire agreement. But now, when you look at ceasefire agreement, this seems a standard international practice. The ceasefire in Mali during the overlapping crisis in Mali, the ceasefire agreement even between Israel and Palestine. Even the best of diplomats often call for ceasefire. So why is the APC saying the federal government should step aside, should step down its ceasefire initiative with insurgents?
Agreed. Ceasefire is part of critical mode of engagement between erring parties even in war situation, a very clear war situation. So now, if really there is leadership of these insurgents and are the true leaders of the insurgents, and you have even started negotiating with them, why is that there is claim of ceasefire when some people on the other side are firing the fire?
Now let's come to the intra-party politics of the APC now, the internal democracy of the APC. Now, many observers have expressed fears that the APC might not get it right in terms of its inability to arrive at consensus in terms of presenting its presidential candidates. How do you see this issue of consensus within the APC?
I think it's a wrong impression when you say inability. It's not the parties that build a consensus. it is the individual who has an aspiration, which is personal to him, that can concede. The concession is a concedement by an individual of a position that he is holding in terms of his own aspiration. What the party does is to encourage consensus. That's what the APC constitution also encourages, because generally politics and whatever is about consensus building. You cannot always get, everybody will get his own straitjacket. It's a process of building confidence amongst not only party members, but across various interests across the federation. So now, as far as the party is concerned, the party encourages this gentleman, particularly at the presidential level that you are talking, to look at the interests of the party, the nation, and if need be, they should build some consensus around one of them.
Now, what is the general mood of the party in terms of who should be the presidential candidate of the party?
One, we are not shopping of candidates for the presidential ticket of the APC, because we have dozens of Nigerians who are members of the APC who are eminently qualified to be the flag bearers of the party in terms of presidential election. But now a few of them come out to express their interest to contest the election or to be nominated by the party as its own presidential candidate. So among them who have expressed their intention are eminently qualified. So what we are expecting, this conceding or consensus, to be precise, is something personal to those people who have expressed their interest. If they do so, fine and good. If they don't, what the party encourages, it encourages and supports that consensus by, after the consensus, we go to the convention and affirm the consensus. If there is none, what we have been doing right from the outset is to ensure that each and every aspirant is given a level playing ground.
Let's quickly take a look at the controversy coming up from the INEC's permanent voters card. How do you see that from the point of the APC? Because the APC is crying out that this is a PDP gimmick to disenfranchise the APC supporters. Do you share the sentiment also?
It's part of a cry, all Nigerians cry, because you can see deliberate attempt through the issuance of this permanent voters card to disenfranchise many Nigerians, because there's no excuse. This technical excuse by INEC all the time is not tenable. It's not even supposed to be controversy. All what we are saying, we are demanding for a transparent elections in 2015.
And that will be all in this week's episode of Roadmap 2015. Don't forget to send your comments to our different social media platforms shown on your screen. Join us again next week for another exciting episode of the program on Channels Television. A repeat episode of the show also comes up on Sunday, 9 p.m. on our terrestrial platforms. Many thanks for watching. I'm Benga Ashiro saying goodbye.